Hey, good evening. I wanted to discuss impressions or vocal impressions. Um, One of the things I talked about this on the previous video, I learned how to do when I was little was I used to memorize all the lines from the soap so I could tell my mom when she got home from work. And one of the uh, one of the things I used to do, I used to impress. I used to do impressions of stuff, or people rather. And one of the biggest things when I was little, this is how I used to get away with some things. I used to, uh, I used to watch a lot of mature movies. Coming to America, Harlem Nights, House Party, and I used to do impressions of certain scenes. And I always picked the scenes that had cuss words in them because it was the only way I could say them without getting in trouble. So I used to do a lot of the impressions of certain people, and one of the impressions that I did it for somebody earlier. I got real good, and I know as a guy it's kind of weird, but I got really good at doing Claire Huxtable impressions, especially the ones where she kind of goes off. And one of my favorite ones is always the one where Sandra and Elvin had just got married, and they come back from the honeymoon, and they were going to open this wilderness store, and he wasn't going to medical school, she wasn't going to law school, so I'm going to do a little bit of that, possibly the whole thing as far as her conversation with Claire. So here goes. Hopefully, I do it well enough. I did it earlier today, and hopefully, my vocal inflection is on point. Cliff, he has a title. He's Inspector 36. And I'm pretty sure they'll have all the money they need while Sandra goes to law school. Mom, yes. I'm not going to law school. What? I'm not going. I've decided not to go to law school. What do you mean you decided not to go to law school? Well, this is our dream. So I'm going to get a temporary job until the wilderness store opens, and then I'll be working side by side by my husband. Sandra, you've always wanted to go to law school. You could talk of nothing else. Well, I've changed my mind. We'll change it back. After all the money we spent sending you to prison, Sandra, you owe us $79,647.22, and I want my money now. I'm not going anywhere until I get my money. So I want to do a little bit of that. There's a little whatchamacallit. I don't know how well that will be received, but I do a little impressions, and I to give a little tidbit of it. Basically, for me, learning how to do an impression is all about the mimic of whatever you're doing, because sometimes you won't sound exactly like the person or the character. Sometimes you will have to mimic their whatchamacallit and get people into a state of believing. And if you get them into a state of believing, they can kind of visualize you. So even if you don't sound exactly like the character, you can people will feel that you're close to it. One of the things, like anybody, I used to do just various. And my biggest suggestion is to find things you like or characters you like that you want to emulate. Find the biggest characters you like and go from there. And I've always been an unintentional comedian. I usually make a lot of people laugh simply because I'm not trying to do it on purpose. And I've never thought about being a stand-up comedian or anything of that caliber. It's just for me, I hate to see people down. I really do, if I can help it. I hate to see people down in the dumps or depressed or whatever. So I usually try to make people feel better, and by doing that, I usually make them laugh. And it's unintentional, but it's something I do. And one of the ways I used to do that was by doing impressions. And just my overall actions. So I incorporate that in being an actor. I incorporate that in performing because it's easy for me to do. One of the things I hate though is being put on the spot. I still cannot stand that to this day. But and it teaches me a self discipline to be ready for any and everything. So in regards to the vocal impression, I will do a two on that. But stay tuned for a lot more reviews, a lot more inside my own mind as far as acting. Some of the little things I do as far as enunciation and things of that nature. It's a possibility that I might even sing a little bit. I'm not the greatest singer, but it is having a very good voice is a part of what I'm doing. So you guys have a good one.